Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If becoming a mangaka in One Piece world. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Quick update. The series What If Transmigrated as a Kanto gym leader will be going on hold soon, since we've nearly caught up with the author. So now, I need your help picking the next project for the channel. I'm currently deciding between these three fanfics. What if Reborn in Highschool DxD as a Lucifuge? What if Transmigrated to medieval Pokemon world? What if creating the strongest Strawhat crew by reading manga? Please vote in the poll and let me know which story you'd like to see next. I'll take the top pick and start working on that series next. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 561, Desperate Situation for Straw Hats. Zoro in Danger. What an astounding invention. I am rendered speechless. You're absolutely right. Luffy and his companions had to overcome significant challenges to attain their current level of strength, but this PX4 left them all in awe. With great effort, they managed to defeat him. This implies that should another one like him emerge, their destiny is sealed. Everyone turned their gaze towards Buggy, who had expressed these thoughts with an uncertain look. What on earth? Buggy awkwardly covered his mouth as another pacifista materialized, interrupting his words. Could this be the Sentomaru that Kizaru was searching for? Vegapunk's bodyguard, intriguing, it signifies his formidable power. He bears a resemblance to sumo wrestlers from the Wano country. Wahahaha. Well, it appears Luffy possesses some common sense, as he opted to retreat, Gorarara. But Zoro's condition appears grim, he seems poised to collapse at any moment. Didn't Luffy notice that? The Roger Pirates and the Whitebeard Pirates brimmed with excitement as they delved into the climax of the astounding events in today's volume. Sanji seems like a lost cause, haha. Persisting in sacrificing himself to safeguard Nami, my heart goes out to Frankie. Gabon chuckled while conveying this sentiment. What is Usopp up to? Why is he clinging to Zoro? Unaware that Zoro has already reached his limits, he can scarcely defend himself in this situation. Usopp might find himself having to shield Zoro in the next moment. Rayleigh remarked, wearing a smile as he spoke. One Piece events. Everyone. Meet up in 3 days at the Sunny. Luffy shouted while running alongside Robin and Chopper. Yeah. The crew split into 3 small groups and dashed in 3 different directions. Zoro, accompanied by Brook and Usopp. And Sanji, with Frankie and Nami. They're splitting up. Pursue them, PX1. Sentomaru signaled to Sanji's group and commanded the pacifista to chase after them. Don't let them get out of Grove 12. It'll just be more trouble. Usopp noticed this, so he launched a smoke bomb to obscure their vision. Hisatsu. Chokamori Bashi. Here's our chance, exclaimed Usopp. Yahohoho, you're very reliable. Brook praised him. Meanwhile, things took a turn for the worse for Sanji's team as an explosion occurred ahead. No, the bridge. The bridge was destroyed by PX1. On the opposite side, Luffy's attention was drawn to the explosion that had just happened. He went over there. Are they okay? Now is not the time to be worrying about others. Luffy and his companions were intercepted by Sentomaru. I don't bear a grudge against pirates, but... Gomu Gomu. Before he could finish speaking, Luffy immediately attacked, Gatling. Sentomaru placed his hands in front of him and opened his palms, chanting, Hoisa. Luffy suffered a strong recoil and was sent flying backward. What? You've got some good attacking power. But my guard is the world's best. Sentomaru declared arrogantly. What an impressive marine brat. He wields haki skillfully. Is he truly employing it? Shanks inquired his captain in astonishment. The notion of haki has remained nebulous in the One Piece manga until now, it's been mentioned only a handful of times. The use of Conqueror's haki wasn't as uncommon, instances of it have cropped up a few times, the latest being when Rayleigh subdued everyone using it. However, there has yet to be any indication of the existence of the other two types. He's only utilizing the basic level of armament haki invisible armor, which makes it imperceptible to the eye but tangible in sensation, Roger responded with a smile. Yet he doesn't rely on it solely, his combat techniques are undeniably potent, and his defense in this situation is truly unassailable. I understand. Shanks nodded in comprehension after grasping Roger's meaning. If that implies they're in a dire predicament. Yes, this is indeed a desperate situation, and it's bound to worsen. Marine Ford. Who is this Sentomaru? He appears skilled. Sengoku inquired, glancing at Borsalino. I'm not familiar with him, Borsalino replied tersely. Sengoku shook his head before remarking, well then, it seems he will be overseeing our new recruits in the near future. That portly bastard, he's tormenting my grandson. Garp felt irritation surge within him as he witnessed the scene. His grandson and his crew found themselves in an incredibly unfavorable and desperate situation. It appears the crew to be pursued has been chosen. Indeed, justice must prevail. Garp, your grandson must taste the repercussions of embracing the path of pirates, Sakazuki jeered in a tone laden with mockery and sarcasm. Garp, as Garp sought a response from Sakazuki, Sengoku intervened. Kizaru has arrived, the current Straw Hat crew is in jeopardy. Hey, as if a mere admiral can alter the course of the world's destiny. Garp scoffed, yet his gaze returned to the pages of the manga to witness the unfolding events. Zoro! Wah! A scream came from Usopp's side on the right of Luffy, who was contemplating how to bypass the meatball obstructing their path. Luffy's attention was immediately captured. Zoro was sprawled on the ground in agony. A tall figure stood before him. Usopp pulled his slingshot at the tall man shrouded in smoke. Get back! Get away from Zoro, you stupid bastard! Zzz Zoro! Zoro got hit by a beam. Even Brook felt great concern about the current situation. Hey, Zoro! Hang in there! Geez, you're late. So you're finally here, Uncle Kizaru, said Sentomaru. Kizaru. Robin's eyes widened upon hearing the name. Quickly warning, be careful. That man is a Marine Admiral. Usopp, eh? Brook, ehhh. An admiral. It's already too late for you, said Kizaru. Then he turned his gaze to the injured man lying by his feet. A bounty of 120 million. Pirate hunter Zoro. Damn it. Cough. Zoro felt like his luck for the day had been exhausted. A one-hit KO. You must have been tired. Go ahead and rest for a while. Kizaru lifted his leg, poised to strike Zoro's head. This is bad. Zoro's in danger. Luffy now comprehended the dire situation they were in. Damn it! Why? Nothing hits him. Move that leg. Usopp continued bravely shooting shots at the Admiral's face, but none of it seemed to work. The same went for Brook, I can't cut him either. What do we do? It's pointless. I ate the Pika Pika no Mi. I'm a light man Logia type, said Kizaru mockingly. It can't be. He'll die. Nami covered her mouth in disbelief. Zoro! Get away! Chopper cried out, urging Zoro to move. My body won't. Zoro couldn't move, not because he didn't want to. Drum Kingdom. Move, move, you mustn't perish here. Remember the promise you made to Luffy? You vowed that you wouldn't taste defeat again until you've claimed the title of the world's greatest swordsman. Weakness is not a trait befitting kings. Dear Zoro. No, he can't meet his end here, can he? Tara's eyes reddened as she observed her son's dire predicament within the pages of the manga. Meanwhile, both Arashir and Ashimaru had somber expressions, deeply affected by the severity of their son's circumstances. Have no fear, my grandson is destined for greatness. How could he meet his end in a place like this? With a serene smile gracing her pale face, Furiko, who had awoken from her coma just a few minutes earlier, spoke. Chapter 562, Rayleigh's Intervention for Rescue. Syrup Town. Inside the art store, everyone held their breath, on edge due to the unsettling scene unfolding in the manga. All were awestruck by the incredibly perilous situation. An admiral was targeting Zoro with intent to kill. They had witnessed the effortless defeat of the 4 pirate captains. It seemed effortless for the admiral to finish off the injured Zoro. However, what drew the most attention in Syrup Town was Usopp's demeanor. Usopp, who's typically timid in such circumstances. He's giving his all to shield Zoro. Look at how he points his slingshot towards Admiral Kizaru. It's meant to be humorous, yet why can't I muster a desire to laugh? Usopp has truly outdone himself in this moment. He's exerting all his strength to keep Kizaru away from Zoro. Brook either. Oh my god, I really hope nothing happens to Zoro. Listening to the conversations of the readers, Yasopp and Beck couldn't help but smile. Here's your favorite drink. Banshina set 2 brimming sake glasses on the table of the duo, Beck and Yasopp. The smile on her face was a reflection of her contentment with the reader's appreciation of her son's courageous attitude. Marigoa, domain of the gods. What does this monkey face intend to do? Stop, you bastard. Can't you see that he's gravely injured? None, Dad. Zoro is going to die. It's impossible, son. The main protagonist's crew won't die, no matter what. How do you know that, Dad? Well, Zoro has a dream. He won't die until he fulfills it, at the very least. That jerk Kizaru came to the archipelago because one of the celestial dragons got hurt, right? Why do we have this kind of authority? That's because our ancestors are remarkable. Well, I hope Zoro doesn't get hurt. And where the hell is Rayleigh? Isn't he the second in command to the Pirate King? Not far from the chaos caused by the celestial dragons, the Holy Knight stared expressionlessly at the fools who should have been reveling in the Straw Hat's predicament. But none of that occurred, they merely appeared somber and dissatisfied. Sigh, what is happening here? The Supreme Commander of the God Knights, Figureland Garling, pondered. One Piece events. No. He's already at his limits. Seeing the perilous situation Zoro was in, Sanji felt extreme worry. Vainte Fleur. Robin intertwined her arms, causing numerous hands to emerge from the ground and pull Zoro away, but Kizaru grabbed him before she could succeed in moving him away. I won't let you move. It's useless. Now, you die. Kizaru began to target Zoro's head with a light kick. Time seemed to slow down in this moment. Zoro. As the crew realized they were about to lose the second most important man on the ship, a certain old man appeared. Rayleigh intercepted Kizaru's kick with a stronger kick. The laser beam that Rayleigh intercepted burst apart. So, you're making an appearance. Dark King Rayleigh, said Kizaru. You shouldn't be plucking young sprouts like these, their time is just beginning. Rayleigh said with a smile on his elderly face. Old man! Exclaimed Luffy with tears streaming down his face. On the grassy island of the New World. Rayleigh, you've stolen all the limelight with this interference of yours. Gabon stared jealously at Rayleigh, who was laughing, drinking sake, and reading the manga. This truly is the greatest rescue intervention we've witnessed so far. Oh man, you're splendid even as an old man. Wahahaha. As expected from my right-hand man. Ha ha ha. Magnificent. Look at this, my skin's tingling from the sheer adrenaline intensity of this scene. Buggy cheered enthusiastically. Rayleigh-san is incredible. I'm getting chills too. Seeing the determined expression on Luffy's face, as if a family member jumped in to save him, Shanks shouted with an enthusiastic smile. This is absolutely something else. Look at Kizaru's expression, he seems like he just tasted something awful, ha ha. Even Bullet, who happened to be here with his hunters, was thrilled by this spectacle. You shouldn't be plucking young sprouts like these, their time has only just begun. What a profound statement, Rayleigh. I genuinely admire such a performance from old bones like you, Gorarara. Even Whitebeard couldn't help but praise the grandeur of Rayleigh's intervention. Marine Ford. As expected. Damn you, you remnant of Roger's pirates. Sengoku exploded in anger upon witnessing this scene. Boa ha ha. Seems like that rascal Rayleigh stole the spotlight I should have had. Garp didn't appear angry at all, rather, he seemed quite pleased. Kizaru needs to step back, if Rayleigh intends to take him out, he won't survive on his own. Zephyr remarked while exhaling smoke. And how do you know that? Are you belittling my manga counterpart, teacher? Borsellino said with irritation. No, I don't view your counterpart with disdain, but the Dark King isn't the kind of opponent you can easily handle. He'll take you out without you realizing it. The title of Dark King isn't just for show. Enough, Zephyr. Rayleigh doesn't seem to have intentions of killing anyone. He stepped in for protection, and Kizaru in the manga doesn't seem like a simple foe. Garp interjected. Sorbet Kingdom. The kid's journey has progressed up to this point, and only now does he seem to grasp his true vulnerability. Dragon didn't feel pity, sadness, anger, or any emotion upon seeing his son in danger. Luffy had chosen his own path and Dragon had saved him once before, right at the beginning of his journey. This meant he must shoulder responsibility for every decision he'd made since then. Dragon-san, will Luffy and his Nakama have a future after this incident? Crocodile asked quietly. He hadn't expected the boy who toppled his future counterpart to be so fragile in the face of crisis. Blood must be spilled, tragedies must unfold, heroes emerge from the womb of suffering. No matter the suffering he must endure, he has to emerge from it stronger and more resolute. At that time, he'll truly deserve to dream again. Kuma and his daughter, Crocodile, and Ivankov listened to Dragon's words with utmost attention, as they held a wealth of wisdom within them. Chapter 563. Chopper transforms into a beast once again. The appearance of the real Bartholomew Kuma. One Piece events. I had been hearing that you were on this island. But to think, you're really here, face to face, confronting the Dark King Rayleigh, Kizaru continued speaking. I never thought you would be looking out for small-timers like these. A pirate to the end, Rayleigh. If you would kindly tear up my wanted poster, then I could live out my retirement in peace, said Rayleigh with a smile. Your sins as a pirate won't disappear. Not to mention you were one of the Roger pirates. But if we tried to capture you here, even we would need to make certain preparations. Kizaru added. Thank God, Zoro. That old man is really something. Usopp relaxed a little after seeing Zoro escape death thanks to the old man. That body that I couldn't touch no matter how I tried. He stopped him, how, wondered Brook. Now, is there any way that you could let them go? Kizaru? Rayleigh proposed, although he didn't see much hope for it to happen. Give me a break. If I don't get them, then the Marines would lose face with the Tenryubito of Marigoa. Won't you stay out of my way? Usopp, Brook. Grab Zoro and run. Luffy gathered his vocal cords and shouted with all his might. Let's go, Brook. Right. Usopp picked up Zoro while Brook picked up Zoro's swords, and they began running away. Everyone. Think only of getting away. Right now, we can't beat these guys. Luffy kept giving orders to escape. Ignoring us. That makes me mad, sighed Kizaru. My grandson shows signs of despair, sigh. A short while ago, Garp had left the office of the fleet admiral after a near confrontation with Sakazuki. He had come to a bench overlooking the sea to read manga by himself. Am I a slave to my justice? My grandson is in danger. I should be the one to go and save him and his friends, not some other old man. Even if he's a pirate, so what?
Family comes first. As Garp looked at the annoying expressions on Kizaru's face in the manga, his irritation only grew.
This damn Kizaru, he already knows that Luffy is my grandson, yet he chooses to target him first.
Does that mean he has no respect for me, isn't that right?
Garp continued reading the manga, grumbling loudly, while Borsalino, who overheard it, was silently sweating.
Fuck! Those Tenryubito!
My grandson's sandals are worth more than all that trash combined.
Garp!
With these disrespectful words, that bastard will bring about his own execution and the execution of all of us.
Sengoku was watching Garp through a window.
The last loud words from Garp, cursing the Tenryubito, had reached his ears.
Garp is starting to doubt his own sense of justice.
He's no longer fit to wear our Marine's emblem. I suggest we relieve him of his duties and dismiss him immediately.
Sakazuki said angrily. Sakazuki, hearing this, Sengoku didn't know what to say. Ohara! Yahohoho!
If it weren't for Sanji's intervention, I would have turned into nothing but a pile of broken bones at the hands of your invention. Vegapunk Sanbrook laughed while pointing at the scene where he had confronted PX1, giving Lysop the chance to escape with Zoro.
This is truly perilous. Now that we've witnessed the power of the pacifista, the government will surely attempt to further develop it, even without my involvement, Vegapunk said, wiping sweat from his forehead.
And will they be able to create it? Asked Professor Clover.
It's not likely.
While I've heard that they began recruiting Shichibukai, Bartholomew Kuma, who serves as the original template for the pacifista, has refused to join them. This is just their initial setback, and they've already stumbled. Vegapunk explained why their efforts to replicate the success of the counterpart in the manga had failed.
So, does this mean you can currently create a pacifista? This time Sol inquired. Not necessarily.
I don't believe Kuma would willingly transform himself into a cyborg and sacrifice himself for the sake of science. I wouldn't desire that outcome either, Vegapunk sighed as he clarified. Regardless, with the power dynamics shifting after Rob's emergence and the appearance of the Queen of the Empty Throne, I don't consider a relatively modest power like Pacifista to be significant. I can fashion something more potent than Pacifista as long as I partake in the games world that Rob will establish in less than a year. As the mention of the games world arose, everyone's eyes lit up with enthusiasm, only to dim the next moment. Their attention returned to the contents of the chapter. These individuals don't seem likely to escape safely. Sentomaru and PX1 have no obstacles in their path, even though Rayleigh has obstructed the Admiral's progress, Homing said nervously.
You're correct. My heart is almost racing from the intensity of this situation.
Oh, I forgot that I don't possess a heart, because I'm dead.
Yahohoho. Sanji.
Chopper noticed the dire situation Sanji was in, being crushed by PX1. In his eyes, he also caught sight of Zoro and Usopp, who had fallen after being hit by a laser beam.
Damn. Everyone's going down.
He swiftly changed direction towards Zoro and Usopp, and started running madly.
You can't, Chopper.
Robin shouted in concern. Chopper popped a yellow pill into his mouth after transforming into humanoid form. Stop, you guys.
Boo!
Quickly, he transformed into a giant beast, the same creature he had turned into during Eni's lobby.
Chopper. Nami couldn't believe what she was seeing. From that time, Frankie recalled the terrifying scene from that day in Eni's lobby.
What the hell is this? Sentomaru stood shocked as a colossal creature materialized seemingly out of nowhere.
Boo! Chopper went into a rampage, destroying everything in his path. Ha! I'd heard about it, but... Robin stood in shock, unable to believe that her once cute pet could transform into such a frightening monster. Ha! Chopper! How could you do that again? Said Usopp. Sanji. Brook! Get up! Ha! We've got to get out of here, quick! That beam is coming again. Wait! PX1!
Just as PX1 was about to fire the laser once more, it suddenly stopped.
Aha! Another one!
Usopp was shocked to see another pacifista, this time holding a book in his hand.
What the hell is going on here? I'm sick of this.
Usopp cried out. Just how many of these guys are there?
Drum Kingdom. Chopper.
Chopper, he's done it again. He seems to have reached the pinnacle of despair. There's no sleight of hand, no escape route on the horizon. He traded strength for the ability to think rationally, all of this to save his comrades. He truly is, my son. Kureha wiped a small tear from her smiling face. No, he's my son, really, Hiralik echoed the sentiment.
Look at Robin's reaction.
That's how I reacted when I saw him for the first time. Seeing Chopper transform into this monster again evoked a deep sense of sadness mixed with a certain sense of pride in both Kureha and Hiralik. After all, Chopper was more than just a little doctor or a pet on the Strawhat ship, he was also a formidable fighter.
Sorbet Kingdom.
This time the real me has emerged, Kuma sighed upon seeing his future counterpart truly manifest this time.
I've already foreseen the current scenario. The next sentence I'm going to say is, if you were to take a journey, where would you like to go? Before Kuma could finish his sentence, Dragon took the initiative to speak.
Oh, these are.
Kuma. You truly. Man, you're a genuine savior. Chapter 564, One Touch to Erase Existence. Holy Land, Marigoa. Why is Bartholomew Kuma present on the battlefield? Could it be an instruction from our counterparts in the manga, perhaps? I doubt that.
It appears to me like he's a savior this time. The five elders engage in a discussion about the sudden and unexpected appearance of the real Kuma on the battlefield.
Fufufu, I comprehend that.
Suddenly, the sound of alluring female laughter resonated, causing the five elders to lapse into silence.
What did Lord Imasama perceive? Saturn inquired with humility.
The so-called plot armor has already started to take effect, Ima stated with an enigmatic smile.
One Piece events. This guy is the real one. Even in his extremely weakened state, Zoro managed to sense the arrival of the genuine individual. So, you're still alive, Roronoa. Kuma removed his gloves as he uttered those words.
Zoro stood with difficulty, thanks to your mercy, he said.
Hey, this isn't the time for a chat, exclaimed Usopp.
If you were to take a trip, where would you like to go? Asked Kuma. Get up! Before Usopp could finish his sentence, Zoro vanished right in front of him. After a single touch from Kuma, only a bubble remained in Zoro's place. Luffy felt Zoro's sudden disappearance.
What? Zoro disappeared. Ha! What the hell did you do to Zoro? He was here just a second ago. Usopp couldn't control himself at this moment. Boo! On the other side, Chopper couldn't differentiate between friend and foe. Chopper, don't be foolish. Robin shouted, carrying the exhausted Luffy. Chopper! Ha! Zoro! Where did he go? Exclaimed Luffy. Bartholomew Kuma.
The Shichibukais have convened at headquarters. This is exactly why pirates can't be trusted. Kizaru was surprised to see Kuma here, as this wasn't part of the plan. I'd like to go over there too, but, Rayleigh said with frustration.
Finally the real one. He made Zoro disappear. Frankie said with hatred. There's no mistake. I've seen that ability before.
Nami, who had witnessed a similar scene before, began to speak fearfully at Thriller Bark.
He made a girl disappear like that, and she never came back. I wonder. What happened to her? Kuma.
Why is that bastard here? Wondered Sentomaru.
Hey! What did he do to Zoro? Ha! Ha! Where did he go?
Luffy strongly desired to know what happened to Zoro, even if it meant questioning the enemy. I'm the man with the tightest mouth in the world, but the people who are repelled by those paws fly through the sky for 3 days and 3 nights, or so he says.
Sentomaru continued the explanation.
but only the person himself knows where he flies to. At the very least, you won't be seeing him around here anytime soon. He might have gone to the other side of the world. Drum Kingdom. Zoro. Tara placed her hand over her mouth in a state of shock after seeing what happened to Zoro in the manga just now. What happened to Zoro? Where did he suddenly disappear to? Erasure exclaimed in surprise. He had wanted to see what Zoro would do after meeting the person who had caused him all those severe wounds. Would there be a surprising change? And would Zoro gain a strong power to defeat his enemy? This had been happening repeatedly in every tough battle Zoro participated in. How many massive injuries had his son endured? How many terrifying wounds had he accumulated up until now? None of them had deterred him. He hadn't backed down even in the face of excruciating agony. His son's willpower was truly as strong as iron. For this reason, Erasure wasn't truly worried about Zoro's loss, even after the manga revealed that he no longer possessed an ounce of strength. His body had reached its limit from all those past battles, and he was in desperate need of rest, a long rest. He didn't die. Isn't that right? Before Erasure could finish his sentence, he felt a strong hand on his shoulder. Young man, this Kuma is an ally. He doesn't act as an enemy at all. Focus on the events and observe carefully. You'll understand then that this is the only way out for the crew from their dire situation. At this moment, Ashimaru spoke, being the more experienced one with a keen insight. Ally, yes, he's from the Revolutionary Army led by Luffy's father. It's unthinkable that he would harm his leader's son, isn't it? Color returned to both Tara's and Arashi's faces after Ashimaru pointed out the aspect they had overlooked. The aspect that everyone had been neglecting up until now. Ha ha ha. Look at yourselves, my children. You're worried about your son in a drawing on a pile of paper. Just how attached have you become to One Piece? Furiko's laughter served as an alarm that awakened them all. Wasn't all of this happening only in the manga? But Mom, the events in the manga have reached an extremely moving stage. It's impossible not to empathize with the Straw Hat Pirates. Ohara, Art Palace. How strange it is. At this moment, tears welled up in the eyes of Toki, Sora, and Stussy. Yes, it's truly strange. Even though I know they will be safe, I can't help but be affected. Why did this happen? Sora wiped away her tears, the image of the angry Sanji reflected in her eyes. Sanji was truly in a pitiable state, blaming himself for his weakness, having lost two comrades right in front of him. In the end, he ran to meet the same fate as Zoro and Brook. He also disappeared into the unknown. At this moment, Sora felt as if something had shattered inside her heart from the intensity of sorrow. She had never felt such sadness before. She couldn't have imagined that seeing a few fictional characters suffer in the manga would make her feel this way. The same held true for Toki and Stussy as well. Bubbles burst one after another, deepening their despair and sorrow at such scenes. Luffy wasn't the only one feeling profound grief and sadness in this moment, readers all around the world shared that sentiment. Chapter 565, I Couldn't Save Them. Part 1. One Piece Events. Looks like the actual Shichibukai. Finally shown up. There are 3 identical ones. What's happening here? Ha! Sanji stood uneasily, expressing his doubts. Where did you send Zoro? Ha! Say something. You bastard! Usopp shouted at Kuma, his usual fear evident, was thrown out of the window. But suddenly, PX1, which was behind him, opened his mouth and started gathering laser attacks. You show up again and... Usopp, look out, behind you! Sanji warned, but he was quickly stunned by the following scene, where PX1 vanished in the same manner as Zoro had disappeared. Don't obstruct me, said Kuma after sending PX1 away. He even made his own ally disappear. Ha! Everyone, just get away from here. Consider your next move once you're safe. Luffy yelled, addressing his crew. But Zoro. Nami said.
Now isn't the time for that. Let's go, replied Frankie. Come on. The bean just grazed me. Lean on my shoulder, hurry.
Usopp tried to carry Sanji on his shoulder and run, just like he used to do with Zoro, but suddenly, Kuma appeared before them, ready to send them on an all-expenses-paid trip through the air.
Look out, the two of you.
Brook covered both of them with his body at that moment.
Brook! I'll protect you too. Even if it costs me my life.
Ah, I'm all ready to. Brook disappeared before he could finish his usual joke.
Brook! Brook!
Both Usopp and Luffy were shocked. Meanwhile, Sanji blamed himself, damn it.
What the hell am I doing? Ha! Two of my comrades, right before my eyes. Go, Usopp. Don't be foolish, we're going together. Usopp tried to hold on to Sanji to prevent him, but to no avail. Run, Sanji. Just run! Exclaimed Luffy. Damn paw bastard. Sanji's kick was easily blocked, and he was sent flying. Ua-aya. He's coming this way, helps. Special move, Gunpowder Star.
Usopp attempted to save himself, but also in vain. He disappeared from his spot just like his predecessors.
Us up. God damn it. Sanji also vanished with a single touch. What on earth is happening here? This is impossible. How can the Straw Hats be losing this badly? Zoro, Brook, Usopp, and now Sanji. Why did they all disappear? It's exactly like what happened with Perona back then.
Who would have expected the same thing to happen to our dearest heroes?
My tears won't stop. Yuwa! This is so unfair. Yuwa! Please stop. Where are you sending them? The crew will be scattered this way.
This means we might not see the Straw Hat Pirates together for a long time.
Damn you, Bartholomew Kuma. Admiral Kizaru. And Sentomaru, too. Since the beginning of this unfortunate incident in the manga, the Celestial Dragons had entered a state of unprecedented frustration. Unable to believe what was unfolding in the manga at this moment.
With each crew member disappearing, the expression of the Celestial Dragons grew darker and more ominous. They had thought this dire situation would be easily resolved and the crew would escape the danger, regrouping once again, but this time it doesn't seem to be the case.
Ha ha ha.
What an entertaining scene. On the sidelines, St. Garling was enjoying the current pace of the ongoing events.
But why do I have a feeling that Bartholomew Kuma is trying to send them far from Kizaru's grasp? Isn't that what he's doing? Be quiet, what do you know?
Perhaps the Gorosei ordered him to get rid of the Straw Hats and send them to treacherous places where survival is impossible.
What if the person who ordered this intervention on the battlefield is Dragon and not the Gorosei? That would be truly disheartening if that's the case.
The Holy Knights were passionately discussing the chapter's events. Among all the readers in the world, only a few were happy with the current development of events, and the Holy Knights, the protectors of the gods, were among them.
In the East Blue Sea, at the famous Baratai restaurant. Sanji. How could this happen to Sanji and his friends? What is happening to Luffy? Why couldn't he save even one of them? First Zoro, and now even Sanji is gone. What does this mean?
Where has that scoundrel sent them?
They will reunite again, won't they?
Humph. If they don't, then it means the story of One Piece will end here. With a cold snore, Zeph silenced all the noise caused by his crew of chefs.
Captain Zeph is right.
One Piece can't continue without the Straw Hat crew coming back together.
Yes, that's true. But we haven't yet witnessed them parting ways.
Hearing that, tears welled up in the chef's eyes, and they started crying again. Seeing this, veins appeared on Zeph's forehead as he grew angry once more.
Do you call yourselves men? And former pirates? Why are you crying? But you're crying too, Captain. Syrup Town. Even Usopp. Damn it! Where's my counterpart in the manga?
Your son is in danger, you scoundrel. Let me guess, he's probably dancing and drinking wine at a party Shanks announced on some island in the New World, Beck said with a meaningful smile. Humph. My son is strong, I believe he'll come out unharmed from any unknown danger he faces later. He doesn't need an irresponsible father to rescue him. Banshina wiped her tears and turned away with a frustrated sigh. Even though she was confident in Usopp, that didn't mean she wasn't affected by seeing the danger in the situation her son had just faced. Especially when he cried out, "Help me," before disappearing with a touch from Kuma. In that exact moment, Banshina felt her world collapsing. Witnessing Banshina's demeanor, Usopp felt a profound sadness. Yet, he remained steadfast in his position. I still maintain that facing the risks of life and death makes men. Bartholomew Kuma, this man is a savior and an astonishing figure. Chapter 566, I couldn't save them. Part 2. Each of Dr. Vegapunk, Saul, Professor Clover, and Don Quixote homing turned their gaze towards the silent brook, who had remained quiet since the unfortunate scene began in the manga. Even Doflamingo and his brother Rosinante, as well as Enel, Mihawk, and Isho, cast a sidelong glance at Brook. After all, Brook, Frankie, and Robin were the only Straw Hat crew members present in the real world. Bartholomew Kuma. This fellow, truly, Fufufu Daffy chuckled after Sanji disappeared. What exactly is happening, my brother? Rosinante asked with teary eyes. What's happening? It's total destruction of the crew in a sense. Even if this destruction will benefit them later, it doesn't change the fact that they've suffered an unprecedented setback. Daffy's answer was clear and precise. That's meaningless. This man won't kill them, as this fat man said he's sending them soaring to the other side of the world for only 3 days and 3 nights. Boring, Enel said disdainfully. Look at this scene. At that moment, Aisho spoke, pointing to a specific scene, where Kuma approached Rayleigh. He must have told him something positive, given Rayleigh's calm reaction, Mihawk said in a calm tone. Oh, I see now. Fufufu, so, if we consider that Rayleigh is the crew's only ally in this battlefield, his calmness to this extent signifies only one thing. I see that this is a rescue operation. Brook sighed after understanding the complete picture clearly. But, seeing Luffy in this state breaks my heart. Oh, though I don't have a heart since I'm dead, yahoho. This is the first time I've seen Luffy cry in such vulnerability. How saddening, Homing said sadly. I don't know if there will be another scene after the Ohara incident that truly makes me feel sorrow. In that flashback, I truly learned that men and rocks can cry, Clover sighed sadly before continuing. No worries, man. Darashishishi. Everything will be alright. When the Straw Hat Pirates reunite, they'll be able to smoothly sail in the New World. One Piece events. What the hell? What do I do? Luffy fell to his knees in despair. Ha! Ha! That's definitely not a normal situation over there. I'd like to help them. But I'm getting old. Ha! Rayleigh felt sadness after seeing the current condition of the kids who came to rescue them, but unfortunately, he couldn't fend off Kizaru for a period of time. You're stopping a Marine Admiral on your own and you want more? Give it a rest, you're making me look bad here. Kizaru became annoyed by Rayleigh's sighs, dealing with him like a nuisance rather than a respected admiral. You're the Dark King Rayleigh. Suddenly, Kuma moved to Rayleigh's side. Kuma, said Kizaru. Unfortunately, Kizaru couldn't discern what Kuma said to Rayleigh at that moment. You're asking me to trust you, said Rayleigh. That's up to you, my own position is becoming precarious, replied Kuma. Just what are you doing? Kuma? Kizaru asked with curiosity. I have no obligation to cooperate with the Marines unless the government is directly involved. I won't answer your questions. This time, Kuma made it clear to Kizaru that he wasn't obligated to tell him anything. The crews of Roger and Whitebeard began boarding their ships, preparing to set out on their separate paths. Gorararara, Rayleigh. People will think after this arc that you're weak and cowardly. Seeing the crew disperse in front of you directly, yet you're helpless, said Whitebeard from his Moby Dick ship. On Oro Jackson, said Roger, don't listen to his nonsense, Rayleigh. Your counterpart in the manga did what he could, truly. Look at what Kizaru said, wahahaha. Do you want more when you've already stopped an admiral? What a laughable statement. And no need to worry, Captain. I won't be bothered by Newgate's words. Rayleigh, you were amazing there, truly. There's no trick up my sleeve. That bastard Kuma has incredibly swift and efficient abilities. Yeah, even the kids have become big-mouthed. Go on, become the red-haired one as in the manga, and come to comfort me, you brat, ha. Anyway, I'm saddened by the situation Luffy and his companions have fallen into. I'll need to go to Shaki-chan to find solace. You bastard, exclaimed Buggy and Shanks. Wahahaha, laughed Roger heartily. Marine Ford. Damn you. Bartholomew Kuma. Sengoku clenched his teeth in anger as he watched the scene where Kuma was clearly speaking to Rayleigh. After this scene, no matter how foolish the reader is, they will understand the bigger picture. This is a rescue operation, not an extermination operation. What's the situation with this Shichibukai? Isn't he under the control of the government and Vegapunk? Veins appeared on Sakazuki's forehead as he read this scene. And what is Borsellino doing? Did an old pyramid man manage to stop you? Humph. Even a half-dead Shichibukai was able to save them under your nose. Sakazuki looked at Borsellino, who was staring at the ground awkwardly. Ha, what a bother. I suppose even if there were a fleet admiral personally, he would fail to change this scenario. Kuzan said. Indeed. Is this what the author wants? I mean, this is what the world wants. How strange. It's okay, my grandson. Everything will be all right. Garp closed the just-finished volume, the last page showing Luffy's face covered in mucus and tears. The impact of loss on a man will be great if he's weak. But since you're my grandson, I won't be surprised when I see you start laughing and playing on the first page of the next volume. How they think they can bring down the Monkey D family. In their dreams. Boahahaha. After finishing reading the volume, Garp stood up. Then he removed his marine coat and tossed it onto a public chair before leaving. Elbaf Island. Are you leaving? Prince Loki asked. Your story is still far from over, my friends. Just enjoy what I'll be drawing for the coming years and patiently await that day, Rob said with a smile. When will the Straw Hat Pirates gather again? This time the question came with a wavering tone, clearly showing that Prince Loki was deeply saddened by how the Sabaody Archipelago arc concluded. When will they gather? So, my friends, do you believe they will gather again? Rob asked with a playful smile. Yes, yes. The giants nodded vigorously, holding on to their unshakable belief in the Straw Hat Pirates. They will surely gather again. The question is when. Alright then, I'll give you a hint. If someone eats 2 devil fruits, what will happen to them? Rob asked with a smile. They will die. Oh, 2 devil fruits, 2. Will they gather after 2 weeks? After hearing Prince Loki's answer, Rob slapped his own face. These giants were truly foolish. Chapter 567, The End of the Straw Hat Pirates. The end of the arc. One Piece events. You bastard. Gear second. At this moment, Luffy erupted in anger. But Kuma paid no heed to Luffy's anger and moved away, suddenly appearing in front of both Frankie and Nami. Oa, he's over here now. Get the hell out of our way. Strong right. Frankie attacked with force. Don't, Frankie. Nami tried to stop him, but... Frankie, exclaimed Luffy. Wait, Luffy, you're doing exactly what he wants. Robin warned, but... Gomu. Jet pistol. Kuma easily blocked Luffy's punch, then tapped his arm and Frankie disappeared from his position. Frankie. After that, he moved directly to Nami and did the same.
Luffy! Help me! Nami!
Luffy went berserk at this moment, desperately trying to reach Kuma, but the latter simply ignored him and continued sending his comrades away.
Boo! This time, Chopper's loud shout caught Kuma's attention. Ha! Ha! Chopper, Robin! Stop it! Please stop! Luffy tried to reach them, but Chopper vanished. Then it was Robin's turn. Robin, get away! Luffy! Robin ran and tried to plead with Luffy, but Kuma sent her away as well. Seeing this, Luffy was completely devastated. Cough. Cough, ha, ha, zay, zay. Luffy continued hitting his head and fist on the ground, crying in despair, Why? I couldn't save them. Not a single one.
When only Luffy remained, Kuma approached him.
So, get rid of him, too. And it's over. I'm sure you have an explanation for all this, said Sentomaru. This is quite the problem, added Kizaru.
Rayleigh remained silent.
We will not meet again.
Farewell, said Kuma to Luffy before touching him. The final bubble burst as Luffy vanished from the Sabaody archipelago.
Grand Line. Sabaody archipelago.
Grove 12. On this day, the pirate crew led by Captain Monkey D. Luffy, the Strawhat pirates, was completely destroyed.
Sorbet Kingdom. Is this what you want, dragon? Kuma asked.
This way, he will become stronger.
I don't think so. Because of the upcoming war, isn't that right?
Yes, afterward he will truly become stronger.
No, you are the primary reason.
Where did you send him?
Can you predict what your counterpart will do in the future? Dragon asked curiously. I cannot guess. Perhaps to an environment full of monkeys, said Kuma.
Wadash hearing that, veins appeared on Dragon's forehead.
BFT. Ha ha ha. Dad, you're so funny.
Bonnie, who had been crying helplessly due to her sadness for Luffy's crew, suddenly laughed upon hearing her father's joke.
Bartholomew Kuma. That's what being a Shichibukai really means.
Someone like Moria made me think that the Shichibukai were a group of the weak, Crocodile spoke.
Is that so?
Crocoboy, weren't you the first Shichibukai to fall, said Ivankov mockingly.
Thriller Bark Island.
The process of transforming the island into a massive ship continued, with the intensity of construction and repairs increasing after Moria, the island's owner, became one of the royal Shichibukai.
Achoo! Ha! I wonder who's talking about me.
Kishishishi, finally, I saw it on your face.
That expression. How delightful. Even the protagonist of the story can taste the bitterness of defeat. Isn't that enjoyable, losing your companions one after another, Kishishishi? It's the karma. Isn't that right, Absalom?
Yes, my lord, the Supreme Shadow Monarch.
Yes, that's how I like it, the Supreme Shadow Monarch, Kishishishi. Moria laughed heartily upon hearing what he enjoyed hearing recently. That title. Fishman Island. Uwa-ea. Why this ending? Little Frankie couldn't stop crying since this harsh scene began. I don't want to see this. This isn't what I wanted. I wished dash. Sigh, it's okay, kid. Everything will be all right.
Tom comforted him, feeling sorrow for the kid in turn.
Don't tell me they won't meet again, Tom-san.
Frankie stopped crying, but his mucus still stained his clothes.
Of course, they will meet again.
You fool, there won't be a One Piece manga without you and your crew.
This loss will drive you to evolve and become stronger later.
After overcoming all the difficulties on your own, you will return to meet again in the place where Sunny awaits you.
You will gather again at Sabaody. I'm sure of it. And then all of you will come to Fishman Island as a formidable force. Not even the Admiral will be able to stop you at that time. Really? Stars appeared in little Frankie's eyes after hearing what his teacher said.
He could already imagine the crew reuniting after a period of individual growth. Until that time comes, we must continue building our own sea train. It's up to us, the volume has already ended, ta-ha-ha. Ohara. It's good that no one died. Belmir sighed with relief as the arc concluded without any casualties among the crew. Despite being saddened by the way it ended, truly. Let me tell you a little secret. Alvia approached the group of store goddesses and whispered with a bittersweet smile. The store was already empty as customers had been leaving for some time, so she whispered to avoid anyone accidentally overhearing. What's this little secret, Alvia-sama? Melona asked curiously. The same went for Bella, Glora, and Matri. They were all curious about the little secret Alvia had learned. The first half of the One Piece manga is about to be completed. Upon hearing that, the mouths of the beautiful store goddesses dropped in shock. Art Palace. I hear that Luffy and his friends suffered a major loss in the manga, Dad. Is that true? After several days, Rob was taking a bath, while little Robin, little Yamato, and little Hancock were lavishly washing his back. Who told my little Robin about this? Everyone is talking about it in the street, humph. But I don't believe it. It's impossible for Luffy to lose. He's completely unbeatable, just like you, Dad. Little Robin puffed her cheeks and said angrily. Ha ha ha. Do you think Luffy is as strong as me? Oops. No, Dad, you're a bit stronger. Ha ha ha. Come here. Rob gently grabbed her and placed her in his embrace. Let me tell you a secret. Rob whispered softly in her ear, while both Yamato and Hancock tried to get closer to hear what Rob was saying, but in vain. When Luffy and his friends gather again, they will become extremely strong. Nothing will stand in their way at that time. Chapter 568, The Release of a New Branch of Art, Isekai Manga. Thus, you've obtained Lin Lin, too? I expected something like this given her strong attachment to you. So she's truly succeeded in this endeavor. Sigh. It's not like that, my dear. Rob smiled as he embraced Alvia in his arms, feeling a bit of frustration from her. They were currently lying in bed in their room, where Alvia, who had already learned about everything Rob had done during the past manga day, was expressing her complaints. Seriously, she didn't understand the reason Rob accepted Lin Lin, even if it was just as a concubine like Stussy. So, what really happened? Why did Lin Lin announce to the world that she became your wife and won't take another husband in her life after you? Although she was saddened by the increasing number of women around her husband lately, Alvia couldn't truly blame him. She still rested her head on his chest, lightly tapping her fingers on his collarbones and exploring every part of his muscular body with her fingers, feeling the butterflies constantly multiplying in her stomach. Her sad mood quickly dissipated. I've already accepted her, and it's done. But that doesn't mean she will stand in your place, my dear. No other woman can compete with you, no matter how beautiful or strong she is. Lin Lin is a future Yonko, a significant change in the story of this world. Accepting her as an ally will have a big impact on the fate of this world. Also, giving her a lesson like no other was something I've wanted to do, especially since she's been trying to seduce me all this time. Anyway, if her presence with me troubles you, I can cut ties with her and reject her. Alvia put her finger on Rob's lips, stopping him from continuing. No, it's fine. I'm not upset at all. You can continue to accept her. After all, I haven't forgotten how she took care of our little Robin with utmost care all these years and even now. It was well known how much Lin Lin loved Robin, as she had prepared an entire area on Whole Cake Island in Robin's name and filled it with all available forms of entertainment so that Robin could enjoy her time there whenever she visited. Robin was a beloved princess wherever she went. No doubt she would be the same even if she went to Marigoa, given the Celestial Dragon's deep affection for the Straw Hat crew members. Ha ha ha. As if I would allow my sweet little one to go to that pigsty. Alvia laughed after hearing Rob's assumption about the Celestial Dragons. Ha ha ha, it's okay. Someday I'll have all of Marigoa under my control, and I'll make it another playground for my little one. Rob said with a touch of arrogance, though he didn't seem to be joking at all. Olvia smiled upon hearing that, confident that Rob would indeed accomplish that.
So, what are your plans for One Piece manga? What will the situation be in the upcoming arc?
Let's leave One Piece manga aside. For now, I'm planning to introduce a new, more exciting show.
Really? Is it a new manga? Let me guess. Perhaps a new anime as enjoyable as Demon Slayer and Naruto? Olvia's eyes gleamed, trying to anticipate what her husband's new project would be. Just wait and see.
2 days later, the current date in this world was December 12, 1497.
Location, Archaeologist's Land, Ohara. Event, release of the new manga.
In Ohara, the atmosphere was buzzing with excitement and vibrancy as usual. The city of Ohara has become a global city with modern and contemporary designs in various parts of the city, while still maintaining a large part of its natural appearance, with trees and vegetation visible everywhere. The city looked like an architectural masterpiece without equality in this world. The Art Palace could easily be spotted and distinguished, as it was the grandest and largest building. It was also situated away from the city but still somehow connected to it. Elastic clouds floated down from the sky islands, lifted by millions of balloons above Ohara, moving up and down like a natural elevator. This innovative means of transportation from Skypiea had taken a permanent position above Ohara at 10,000 meters. Railways could also be seen on the sea, starting to take on a real form, connecting Ohara to nearby islands and eventually merging into a complex network of railways that crisscrossed the calm belts in all 4 directions, heading towards the other 3 seas and the Grand Line. Returning to the revered city that Ohara had become, the enthusiastic discussions could be heard everywhere, not just in the art store area, but throughout Ohara. They were all discussing a common topic.
What is this new promotional cover that appeared at the art store? A new manga? What could it be? Ice Sky? What does this mean? Will the new Ice Sky manga be as enjoyable as its predecessors, Bleach and One Piece?
After all, the art store never releases anything less than entertaining art. The evidence from the recent anime episodes that were released, such as Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, Naruto Shippuden, and even One Piece during the enjoyable Enies Lobby arc.
Those anime episodes were visual feasts by all standards for crazy anime lovers.
In addition to anime, there was the manhwa solo leveling that dominated, with its new volume soon to be released, and it was also considered top-notch art. Not to mention the best of the art from the art store, manga, now One Piece, and previously Bleach. All this art that had been released so far made the inhabitants of Ohara, where it all began, look forward to what the new Ice Sky manga would be like. In the art room inside the personal section, Rob continued to draw at lightning speed since he left his room when accompanying Olvia. Rob was on the verge of completing the first chapters of the new manga he had decided to release in the art store. It might be a personal preference, but I'm sorry, I'll only take completed manga under the Ice Sky category from now on, whether they're Japanese or even Western. The source doesn't matter as much as their importance to my game's world. I'll choose the best manga. They might not be the best for many on Earth, but at least they're the best for me in a world where literary and scientific creativity has been destroyed for 800 years by the world government. Rob set his pen aside, then began to manipulate his paper ability to create a book that included all the chapters he had finished drawing at lightning speed. His hand turned into a book, and the pages kept rolling back, with each roll filling the pages with words and clear drawings. When the process was done, a new book appeared in Rob's hand, featuring the Earth as the source of all the arts he had brought to this world. On the side cover, a second blue planet appeared with 2 red lines separating the world horizontally and vertically. This was the Seas planet where Rob currently lived. Chapter 569, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Manga Event. Underscore 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 underscore.
Rimura-sama, do you have any plans in mind?
A person with red hair and 2 small horns on his head looked at a peculiar aquatic creature when it spoke.
I intend to go out and take a look. What about all of you?
The blue spherical being called Rumaru-sama turned towards a group of green people and said, Of course, we'll accompany you, they replied with boundless enthusiasm.
I see.
Suddenly, the slime transformed into a beautiful girl with blue hair.
Then, let's set off. Beep 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 beep, the alarm indicated that it was 7 a.m. That slime appeared quite arrogant, was that me?
The man turned off the annoying alarm before waking up from his strange dream.
And I actually turned into a beautiful girl, boy?
What a bizarre dream, he remarked after contemplating the strangeness of the dream he had before waking up.
Is this my desire? Even though I'm not entirely unhappy with my current situation. I take that back. How unjust.
After leaving the house, he encountered his friend who began boasting about his new fiancée in front of him.
Allow me to introduce you, this is my fiancée, Saitari Yoshi-san, he said. It's another modern world.
Yes, it seems wonderful.
Did the story start with this dream?
What a truly strange dream.
It looks like the beginning of a romantic story to me.
Seriously.
Did he really dream of becoming a girl? That gives me the chills.
Perhaps he has some deep, peculiar inclinations in his subconscious.
What a peculiar protagonist. What an unconscious, shameless friend. He's boasting about his beautiful fiancée to his single friend. This truly riles up us bachelors.
That's right, he has a face that deserves a punch. At this moment, many started reading the newly released manga. Quickly, they immersed themselves in the story and started engaging with it fervently. New readers were increasing by the second all around the world. This was because Rob had been diligent in his work, constantly increasing the number of copies of each volume. Among the readers intrigued by this new manga, there was Doflamingo, who secretly took an interest in every story set in the modern world. The same went for his brother and companion, Enel. In truth, he wasn't the only one with a keen interest in everything modern world story, many others shared a similar curiosity. However, for Daffy, this curiosity was more like an obsession for exploration, and this new manga titled Tensei Shirtera Slime Ken began its story in the fascinating modern world.
That's why it captured Daffy's attention effortlessly. Ha! Is this guy a fool?
Who would put themselves in such an unrealistic situation?
At a certain scene, Doflamingo became thoroughly irritated, as he couldn't grasp why Satoru took a knife stab instead of the jerk who had just been boasting about his fiancée moments ago. Well, this is intriguing, ha ha ha. Does he die? Just like that? With a kitchen knife? Seriously. Isn't he the protagonist?
Alvia looked at the rest of the girls and said with an amused smile, haven't you seen the title of the first chapter?
Ha!
The title of the first chapter.
Let me see.
Melona, Perona's mother, returned to check the title of the first chapter.
This. Death and Reincarnation. What is the reincarnation? Is it the same as what happened to Brooke?
The girls were amazed after confirming the chapter's title.
Almost, but not quite the same. Let's read more chapters to explore what will happen to Satoru-kun.
Alvia said with a smile.
My back feels really hot. Don't tell me I got stabbed. Senpai.
Tamura ran towards Satoru, who had just been stabbed, after taking the blow from the fleeing criminal instead.
Senpai. Please don't die. Tamura. Saitari will be disappointed in that face, you know?
At the current moment, Satoru was dying, so his body felt cold.
Why is it getting cold?
A human will die if there isn't enough blood.
This is bad. Confirmation complete. Constructing a body that does not require blood.
What was that voice just now?
Tamura? Doesn't require blood? I don't understand.
It also sounded very mechanical, like a computer-generated voice.
PC.
Suddenly, he remembered something terrible before dying. Tamura.
If by chance I die,
please take care of my PC.
Throw it into the bathtub and short-circuit it. Make sure to destroy all the data. Tamura was surprised before dryly laughing. Haha. That's really like you, senpai.
Suddenly, he felt sadness and confessed remorsefully, "Senpai. Actually, today I only wanted to show off Satori in front of you."
I already knew that. Bastard. I've already forgiven you. Try your hardest to make her happy.
Please take care of my PC. Those were his final words in this world.
Senpai. Senpai? Don't die, senpai. A life that had nothing special to mention, a 37-year-old virgin? PFFTT. What's up with this guy? Darishishishishi. It's hilarious even when he's dying, laughed Saul. Ya ho 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 ho. I don't know what I should do, should I cry or laugh? You're already laughing, man. Ya ho ho ho. But he resembles me a lot. Does really staying a virgin till 30 make someone a magician? Ah. Above 40, does that make them sages? What? A great sage after 50? Then what about me? I'm close to 90 as a virgin. Does that make me a god? Ya ho ho ho. Brooke laughed until tears formed in his eyes.
The scary thing is, you won't have a chance to get rid of your virginity. And this poor guy as well. It seems he's on his way to becoming a single-celled organism in another world. That voice in his head.
It sounds somewhat familiar. Is this a system, like the one Sung Jin-woo obtained? Don't you guys feel the same, my comrades?
Vegapunk's long tongue wagged with excitement as he mentioned a point he hadn't touched upon before.
Exactly. That's why I found it familiar. A system. What the hell is this system? This is the second story that involves this kind of oddity.
Even Professor Clover found the matter highly intriguing.
First,
this system said that it will give him a body that doesn't require blood composition. Then, it granted him unique skills and developed them based on the desires of the reclusive man.
Are these the features of this system?
Vegapunk recorded everything he discovered in a small notebook while biting his fingers with tension.
PC? Computer? Data? What is this? Why does he want to destroy this thing that seems so advanced with such determination and assurance?
Saul felt perplexed. I asked Rob before about this technological device from the modern world, and he told me it works the same way my brain does.
Data refers to information. I can easily create this device. I had something similar even before the manga appeared.
Maybe he has some sensitive information on his computer that he doesn't want anyone to see, even after his death.
Vegapunk explained.
Poor guy, he's really dead. I thought he would be saved, just like what happened with Jin-woo.
Homing said. Chapter 570, Slime and Dragon Encounter. Holy Land, Marigoa. Did he really die?
So even protagonists can die, ha ha ha.
On her throne, Ima-sama was enjoying her time reading the new manga. With this intriguing isekai manga, it seems she discovered something new.
Even protagonists can die, but their plot armors are so thick that they can be resurrected in another world.
A dragon? Seems powerful. A slime? What is this thing? Imu's curiosity grew while reading the first chapter continuously.
The same goes for the 5 elders who finally found some time to rest after receiving numerous orders from their lord after the end of the previous manga day.
Manga event.
Underscore 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 underscore.
It's so dark. Where am I? What happened to me? I remember getting stabbed while protecting Tamura. Did I get saved? If that's the case, is this a hospital bed? I can't see anything, I can't hear anything. Has the curfew already passed? I should try calling the nurse first. HM? My limbs don't seem to be responding. That can't be right, I was only stabbed, and my arms and legs shouldn't be completely gone. Could it be that I'm paralyzed because my nerves were severed? Hey, give me a break already. Ah! I moved. Is that grass? I can't smell anything at all. There's also no sense of sight, hearing, or smell. Only touch. What about taste? Wait a minute, this isn't even a human body anymore. Urura Island.
What a miserable fate, to die and wake up again as a small, weak being. Droplets of sake scattered from Kaito's mouth as he greedily swallowed. Just a few minutes ago, Kaito's subordinates returned from Hunter's Island with a new manga that had just been released from the art store. Curious, Kaito wanted to read it. However, he was surprised by the absurdity of this story. The plot seemed completely illogical, with the protagonist dying and being resurrected in a completely strange world. So far, no one could comprehend the logic behind this. Is this a dragon? Storm Dragon Veradora? Kaito stopped drinking, and his eyes widened in surprise. He didn't see a dragon every day. This dragon, powerful. Warorororo. Kaito's attention was completely captured upon seeing the storm dragon and learning the truth that there were 3 other dragons like it in this world. He can read the thoughts of others, even teach them magic and how to perceive it. Kaito-san, this manga is intriguing, King calmly stated. Not only that, but his formidable appearance truly earns him the title of a dragon, Albert. He also seems to know a lot. What does he mean by saying that many people have crossed over to this world? Kaito continued to read the manga with interest, until he reached a truly captivating part. Just a human girl managed to seal such a powerful dragon? Is this the power of unique skills? Kaito looked forward to possessing such power. Perhaps if he acquired something similar, he could truly surpass Rob and claim the title of the strongest. The world of games. I wish I had a seat in this world. Kaito felt a pressing need for one of those seats here in this world. Ohara. Kaya, how cute. Little Robin looked at the small slime that was trying to befriend the fearsome dragon and felt the urge to befriend it as well. Ha ha ha. Is this dragon feeling shy? Ha ha ha. Since Rob's manga is always colored and more vivid, Hancock, Yamato, and even Robin could notice the unusual redness on the dragon. It was a clear sign of embarrassment. Ha ha ha. Unfortunately, not all dragons are like Veradora, otherwise, this world would be more peaceful and wonderful. Yamato's tone was discouraged and sad as she remembered her biological father after seeing how kind Veradora was with the little slime. Veradora Tempest. Rimuru Tempest. Dragon and slime. But not just any ordinary slime. This seems like a story that will be enjoyable for readers from now on. Inside his office, Rob stopped printing and publishing more volumes because what he had just published was already sufficient. He looked at the open volume in front of him and felt that the version he drew was much better and more comprehensive than the original manga he had read on Earth. The world is in for the best manga of its kind ever, Rob smiled before flipping through the manga's pages and continuing to read. South Blue. Storm Dragon? In the kingdom of Sorbet, Dragon wiped his sweat during his training and looked at Ivankov, who was pointing to a specific dragon in a manga book. It seems like a good story, I'll read it later. Storm Dragon Veradora, a catastrophic level monster, looks interesting. Before he could finish his sentence, Dragon sensed imminent danger. His instincts kicked in to avoid the strike, and he attempted to dodge, but he only managed to move slightly. Unfortunately, he couldn't evade the powerful punch that crushed his head to the ground. Boahahaha. Lowering your guard in front of your old man, you still have a long way to go before escaping the punch of love. The one who just struck Dragon was Garp, who had left his marine rank. You, give me the manga volume in your hand, Garp pointed to Ivankov, who obediently left the manga book and rushed to check on his commander lying on the ground with a significant bump on his head. Seems like a children's story. Despite saying that, Garp continued to flip through the manga pages with increasing interest. Unique skill, Predator. This unique skill allowed what appeared to be a small drop of water to expand into this colossal size and swallow a massive dragon with such ease. What kind of skill is this? How does it work?
Is it like a devil fruit ability?
At the Marine headquarters, Sengoku was left speechless. The more he read, the more he felt that this slime wasn't just an ordinary slime, but an invincible and peculiar monster.
This world seems ancient. Is this a king? Are there many kings and kingdoms in this world instead of a single government? Are there other races besides humans? Intriguing. A catastrophic level monster? Did Veradora's disappearance lead to consequences like these?
So it is, the dream at the beginning of the chapter wasn't just a passing dream, but a prophecy.
So you're saying he'll become a girl at some point?
Sengoku found himself enjoying the story, much like Garp. That wraps up this part of What If Becoming a Mangaka in One Piece World.
Thanks so much for listening.
As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned.
Quick reminder.
The series What If Transmigrated as a Kanto gym leader will be going on hold soon, since we've nearly caught up with the author.
So now, I need your help picking the next project for the channel. I'm currently deciding between these 3 fanfics. What if Reborn in Highschool DxD as a Lucifuge? What if Transmigrated to medieval Pokemon world? What if creating the strongest Strawhat crew by reading manga? Please vote in the poll and let me know which story you'd like to see next. I'll take the top pick and start working on that series next.
Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well.
See you in the next one.